Welcome, guys, to another moto vlog. Not really, more vlog, just a regular vlog, I guess. Where we went from our Twin City home in Minneapolis to Thunderbay, and then we went to do some zip lining in some canyon area. I forgot the name of it, but when we get to it, I'll make sure to let you know. We're doing this vlog a little differently. It's going to be a lot of pre-recorded footage that I got on the trip. I'm going to be doing some commentary over the footage, just what happened, and give some insight with some pictures, and just go more in depth into it, because I find it a lot easier doing that approach than how we have it, where I try to do it on the spot. There are some spots, for instance, when I am in the tiny house, I forgot to clip my mic. I had it in my hand, so it does make a little bit of noises, just a precaution. You can hear a little like scraping up against something, and you'll hear a little scraping noise. It's not too bad. It's still bearable, but so hopefully that doesn't bother you guys. This is probably about 10, well, maybe a half hour away from the border of Canada. We've been driving all day, and we are about to get to the checkpoint. The checkpoint didn't go quite as planned. They had us pull in, and they took our passports. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know if they were trying to like look up our records to take copies of our passports, but it was kind of weird because like everybody that was Canadian, they just let right through, and they stopped us for whatever reason. I don't know if it was because of the beard. Wifey kept saying it was because of the beard. I looked like a terrorist, but I don't think that was the case. So that took a little bit longer than expected. We were there like a half hour, maybe an hour tops. I don't think it was that long, but it's probably like a half hour. And then after that, they said, "You guys are good to go." They handed us our passports, and we went ahead and took off from there.
Hi, where do you live?
Hello.
Blaine, Minnesota.
Where's your trip?
Going to Thunderbay
Or where?
vacation.
Where?
It's
What is that?
oh, it's an Airbnb. It's an apartment.
How long are you gonna be in Canada for?
Just until Tuesday.
You been to Canada before?
No,
What do you both do for a living?
I work in printing industry, and she does expensing.
for a relocation company.
So you're staying only one night?
2 nights.
No,
So Sunday night, Monday night, and then we're leaving Tuesday.
Do you have any firearms, handguns, weapons, mace, pepper spray, tear gas? Beer,
No.
wine, liquor?
Nope.
no,
Tobacco?
Nope.
no.
What are you bringing up besides your personal clothing?
Computer.
That's it?
Yep.
I mean, we have our cell phones. I suppose. Never mind. That's standard. Sorry.
Signal lost.
Okay, park to the left under the canopy and come on into the office.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Park left.
Maybe here. Because that's
What, now they want to check us?
well.
Jesus, this is the checking.
Oh. And then come inside. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's go.
There. From there, we had about another 2-hour drive into Canada. And as you can see, right about now, it is super cloudy. Like, not cloudy, foggy. Like, we couldn't see, like, probably 20 feet ahead of us. We're like, holy shit, the fog is thick. And, and I mean thick. As you guys can see, but the whole ride up to Thunder Bay was pretty foggy like this. Couldn't really see much of the scenery, but the next day was beautiful. We'll be going into that soon. So yeah, we'll be doing lots of time lapses and lots of pre-recorded footage just with me talking over about the experiences, things that happened that day. This day was pretty uneventful. The night before, I had my 10-year reunion, high school reunion, and I got a little too drunk. On the way home, I threw up outside the window. Wifey, of course, was driving me home, but I was so drunk that I had to open up the window and throw up because it was just so bad. Granted, I was like a block away from home, but I just couldn't hold it no more. It was just coming out. So I opened up the window and it came out. And so the next day, wifey was nice enough to drive for the first half of the day. And then I drove the last couple hours. I think it was like 2.5, 3 hours. just to give her a break, and I started to feel better, started to feel like more like myself. And I usually prefer to drive. I usually like to be the one driving, because I will say I do think wifey isn't the best driver, but she's not bad. But I just get nervous when I'm not in control. So after we went ahead and got into Thunder Bay, we went into, or I was gonna say we checked in, but I guess you can say checked in. I don't know. This is our first time doing an A or Airbnb. It's basically where people like you and me put their spare bedroom up so people can rent it out for the night. Like economically, it's great for both parties. You get a little extra money, they get a place to stay for the night. So it works out for everybody, to be honest. This was our first experience with it, and they were lovely. She made us muffins. Like, we had the whole basement to ourselves, which had its own bathroom, shower, living room. Like, you had a couch, you had a TV, a bedroom, it had a stove, a refrigerator. Basically had all of your amenities that you would need in there, which was awesome. The downside is I watched the movie. What movie was it? Shit. Let me look it up real quick. Okay, so the movie was The Visit, and this lady that owned the house looked almost very similar to the grandma from The Visit, and in the movie The Visit, she puts her granddaughter in the oven and tries to like cook her alive, kind of thing. And like the first couple of nights, because they for whatever reason must work overnight shift, or they just up late at night or something, because it'd be like 1 o'clock in the morning and I'd hear them walking around upstairs, and there's a couple times where we'd hear something move outside the room above, like right next to us. We're like, what the fuck, how they get in here? The door's locked, and if they wanted to get in, they could get in, since I'm sure they have a spare key. But so it sounded like something was in there, and then it sounded like there was something else in the room. And it was a rough night to sleep. Not only was the bed really hard, like, I'm used to a pretty soft bed, and this bed was like sleeping on the floor. And on top of that, I just kept picturing, seeing the door open or hearing the door open, and me turning the light on real quick and seeing her with like a knife and her head sticking out through the door, kind of like, here's Johnny thing. And oh man, the first couple nights I was paranoid as fuck. There was no need for it, but I was. I mean, she was nice, she gave us muffins, but at the same time I was like, this is the first Airbnb I've ever done, and sleeping in the same house with complete strangers was like a little nerve-wracking for me. I was a little cautious about it, but overall it was a great experience. I left my own demons to make it worse. But so we went ahead, checked in. I'm gonna go ahead, play a little audio commentary about, not audio commentary, but go ahead, play the audio so you guys can hear, me and wifey's conversation as we pull into Thunder Bay. And after that, we went to what's it called, Ribfest, and we had some ribs.
And like barbecue or something. Taco time. Taco time.
I've never heard of that. That's funny. Oh my god. Chinese Express. Max. There's another Chinese, Vietnamese. Siam. Oriental fusion cuisine.
Readable. Monsoon. Authentic Indian.
Will you try that? I don't think I've ever actually had authentic Indian food.
And then there's Mr. Sub.
200 meters. Turn left onto James Street South.
This reminds me of like Daytona Beach, except for different weather, but just like the way all this stuff is set up.
Left onto James Street South.
Pita Pit, I've seen one of those.
You saw pictures of this place by any chance?
Yeah.
Look alright?
What?
Place look okay?
Yeah, it looked fine. I mean, it didn't look sketchy or shady. Yeah.
Because we got 3 minutes away.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a standard, like, hotel type thing.
So here's some pictures for Ribfest, and Ribfest was a hell of a time actually. It was pretty dead. It was raining. It was kind of cold. I think it was like 55 degrees, so it wasn't very packed. We got there towards the end because it ended at like 7, and we pulled up at like 6:30. But we went ahead, got some amazing ribs. They had like four different like companies or stations of ribs. So we got ribs from one, and then we got some cornbread from the other because wifey loves cornbread. And we just kind of ate the food in a tent, and we just listened to the music, hung out for a bit, and then we kind of walked around town a little bit, and then we went back to the place we were staying. It was a good time. I'd highly recommend it if you're ever in town for something like that. It's always nice to, see new things and try new things.